Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the joint webinar of Moldex and OpenLM. My name is Chen, and I am the sales manager at OpenLM. With us today are Emma Trach, regional manager of EMEA at Moldex, Noah Yitzhak, our VP marketing at OpenLM, and Sagir Reuven, our support team leader and support engineer for OpenLM. The initiative to join forces and start the Moldex OpenLM cooperation started actually at the Moldex management. They wanted to provide their users a full and clear licensing data of the software. OpenLM joined this effort, and now it is available for both Moldex and OpenLM customers. Our agenda for today is an introduction of Moldex3D by Emma, an overview of OpenLM and its main functionality by Sagi, and the Q&A session at the end that will allow you to ask any question regarding both softwares. You can use the right side of the screen. There is a place there to post your questions, and we will answer them at the end. Emma, you are welcome to start.
Hello, I would like to share my screen with you. Just a second. Okay. So, first of all, thank you for joining our webinar, and welcome to my lovely living room. My name is Agnieszka Trach, Emma Trach, you can call me Emma, and I'm the regional sales manager at Moldex3D and Openlm. I will tell you a little bit about our company and product introduction. So, Moldex3D is an injection simulation software for the production of plastic parts. What does it mean? Basically, if you look around yourself, you will see your computer, you will see your mouse, you will see your mobile phone, maybe a pen. Basically, all those items, they were manufactured with the injection process. And before they come to the market, you need to make a lot of design changes. You need to make sure that this part is successful. And how do you know that this part will be successful before you even manufacture it? You should always apply simulation software beforehand to ensure that this part is the right part that you really need and you will be able to apply in the future use. So, few words about our company. We are based in this very small city. It's called Hsinchu. Our headquarters are in Hsinchu. This is about 1 hour drive from the capital city of Taiwan, Taipei. And currently we employ about 250 people in Taiwan throughout all the offices you can see here on the map. We have an office in Taipei, Taichung, and Tainan. So, few words about the history of our solution. We are now a very old company. We were officially established only in 1995, but actually the first steps and the theory foundation started in early 80s. On this beautiful vintage picture, you can see Professor Zhang Longyu, the gentleman in the middle, the short gray gentleman. He is the CEO and owner of Moldex3D until this day. And around him, you can see some of his PhD students. So that's how Moldex3D started, actually, at one of the local technical universities. And most of these people are still with us and work together on improving our software. From the very beginning, Professor was striving to provide the best-in-class solution for the injection simulation of plastics. And he always knew that dual domain 2.5D was never the right way to approach this issue, and he was always striving to provide a true 3D meshing technology. And this technology was first developed in early 2000s, And later on, in 2007, we actually launched a product which is called EDesign, and EDesign is a fully automatic 3D mesh. So if you ever try to mesh a part manually, you will know that it will take hours, days, or even weeks. But with Moldex3D, you can do the meshing within minutes. So because the quick meshing tool is a very crucial step in the simulation of the process, not just EDesign mesh is possible, but you can also have another type of mesh, which is called the boundary layer mesh, to be automatic. And this is a tool which we launched in 2013. Later on in 2016, we have a new, beautiful and shiny interface for our software. It is called the Studio interface, Moldex3D Studio, with ribbon style, with very quick rendering of the results, and with the possibility to compare up to 4 projects, 4 runs of 4 different results. The latest version of Moldex3D released this year is the version 2020. Each year, apart from providing a new version of the software, we make sure that we add new modules, new technologies. We strive to answer to the needs of the market. We talk to our customers and we develop the solutions which will be later on used by them and actually useful to them. Apart from the new version, every year we also release few of service packs, and service packs will have updated material database for Moldex3D or updated machine interfaces. Now we currently have about 12 direct offices in Europe, North America and Asia. The closest office to you will be our office in Utrecht in Netherlands. We have about 400 plus distribution centers, and we are present in about 60 countries around the world. So a few words about what we do at Moldex3D and how we do it. As I mentioned, we only have one solution. This is the solution for simulation of injection of plastics. But before you can simulate anything, you first need to design your part, and that's where the CAD softwares come in, and we cooperate with them. We created a bridge between Moldex3D and CAD vendors, so you can actually stay in your familiar CAD interface, and you can do all the steps that you would normally do in Moldex3D, but instead of learning how to use new software, you actually use your CAD interface, which you are already familiar with. After running simulation in Moldex3D, you would want to export some of the results for further structure analysis, and this is also possible because we cooperate with the CAE vendors as well. Currently in Moldex3D, we have about 8,000 materials, and every year, every service pack, we update the material database to make sure that all the materials available there are still sold, and we cooperate with the material suppliers in order to make sure of that. We also cooperate with the injection machine manufacturers, and in Moldex3D it is possible to actually open and interface of your injection molding machine. Apart from all the above, we have our own lab in Taiwan. If you have any specific material that you cannot find in our database, or it's just a new material, you might send it to us and we will test it for you, generate a file, and then you can be sure that you are using exactly the right material for your simulation, so that the results from Moldex3D are as close to the reality as possible. Beautiful slide with some of our biggest names as customers. Of course, the automotive industry is the strongest for us, but we cannot forget about the white goods, household appliances. We even have customers like Lego that produce toys, material suppliers, electronics, and Moldex3D can be applied in a very, very wide range of products, from very big parts to a very tiny, small, even chip encapsulation. Now I would like to introduce the product. It will be very brief and very non-technical. I am not a technical person. So, as I mentioned before, why would you even want to use Moldex3D? Basically, it will optimize your product, your design. It will make sure that your trial and error method is minimized. We have more than 20 people in the EMEA team, and very important for us is the technical support. So this is one very important aspect of owning Moldex3D. You will be never left by yourself. You will always have us to support you while you are using and learning how to use Moldex3D. So we only have one product, but of course everybody's needs are different, and different customers will require different approach. Therefore, we have 3 different packages, and the first package advertised to most and applied at most of our customers currently is the EDesign package. And in the EDesign package, you will be able to run the full analysis, get the full spectrum of results from feeding, packing, cooling to workbench. You will be able to check the weld lines, sync marks, and this tool has the true 3D tetrahexa meshing tool. The higher package is called Professional, and in this package you will have what's in the previous package. So you will have the EDesign meshing technology plus the additional boundary layer mesh, the BLM meshing technology for parts that are very big, for example, so you can better control the number of elements in your mesh, or the parts that rapidly change the wall thickness from very thin to very thick, the other way around. And in the last package, you will have the ability to run 3 parallel simulations at the same time for 3 different projects. Apart from the main packages, we know that every customer has different needs. Therefore, we provide a very wide range and long list of solution add-ons. Now, these solution add-ons are optional, but if you happen to have a special process, like for example, gas-assisted or water-assisted injection molding, or you are injecting with foam injection molding, then you would want to use the right solution add-ons for your process. Now, the workflow in Moldex3D is very straightforward. First, you need to have your CAD file, your design of the part. You import it into Moldex3D, you mesh it. As I mentioned, it takes a few minutes, and the wizard will take you through the meshing process. Then you need to input your setting parameters of the actual production. So you will choose the right material, you will choose the cycle time, and so on. Later on, you let the computer do the calculation for you, and after a certain time required for the calculation, you will be left with the results. So the first results that will show, there will be a window and a tree structure, and the first result from the top will be the filling result. And here you can optimize your gate and runner design. You can check whether weld lines will happen in the places that you want them or you don't want them, whether you have air traps or short shot. You can also optimize your process conditions such as injection time or melt temperature. In the results for packing and cooling, you would want to see the gate freeze time. Maybe you are overpacking the part and the gate is already frozen. You will want to estimate the effective packing profile, minimize your sink marks and flash problems. You would want to choose the right machine with the right clamping force for your part. And in the cooling stage, you would like to see the cooling system, if it's effective, if it's cooling the part in the right way, and you can optimize the efficiency, which will later on help you with minimizing the part warpage. And last but not least, you can check the warpage results. Here you will validate the part deformation, the shrinkage, whether the material you are using, if it contains fiber, how the fibers react and influence your warpage, whether you have a flatness or roundness issues with your part. And this is one of the most sought after results for simulation of injection molding. So as I mentioned before, I'm not a technical person, but I know how to use Moldex3D. I know how to operate the wizards and how to get the results at the end. So it is really, really friendly and simple to use. You get the results fast, and you can be sure that we use a true 3D technology just in order to make sure that the results meet the reality. So if you want to meet us, I invite you to our social media. LinkedIn is probably the best bet. We update it every day. We post all the information about our webinars, about new products and new features. So this will be something very interesting for you to look at. We have other social media like Facebook, but I would also recommend our YouTube platform, where we post all sorts of tutorials, webinars, and other tools that will help you learn Moldex, learn about Moldex, and implement it in-house more faster. So this is the time for my presentation. Thank you very much, and I will be ready to answer any of your questions at the end of next part. And of course, after you buy software, you will have a license, and that's where Sagi comes with his presentation on the license management. So thank you very much, and stay tuned.
Thank you, Emma. Next, we'll have Sagi from OpenLM to show you our license management system. Sagi, are you ready to present?
Yes, please make me a presenter. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So, as Emma mentioned, once you purchase Moldex or any other engineering application, basically you have a license. Now, that license usually is floating, and this is where OpenLM comes in to give you a lot of insights for that and allow you to stretch that license to its limit. Now, what's OpenLM basically? We help you to monitor your licensing system. So you might have many different license managers. You might have Moldex or FlexLM, HASP, LMX, BetaLM, many different types. We support 50 different types of license managers, bringing all of that information into one consolidated interface. Now, we are active globally. We have over 1,000 clients, about 400 in the US alone. We fit many types of organizations, for example, industrial, oil and gas, automotive, what have you. We support currently thousands of different applications, as we support 50 different license managers. So the first thing that OpenLM does is provide monitoring. You can monitor the license manager, all your license managers, just in one place. Besides monitoring, you can manage a little bit those license managers. That means you'll have everything in one place. You won't have to go into each license server and do changes there. Now, OpenLM will help you to automate the system a bit. So you won't only have to go to the interface or have to be proactive yourself. You can have OpenLM itself be proactive. So not only will you get reported on license usage, utilization, denials, everything, you can also get notified when certain criteria are met. Let's say a license server is down, a license is about to expire, many different options to allow you to automate the system and even send you reports on a schedule. Now, all of this is to basically do a few things. First of all, reduce license spending. Once you know what you're using, you can tell where you can cut costs, which licenses you're not using. Now, you can also increase the availability of those licenses using OpenLM, meaning you'll have the same amount of licenses maybe, but they'll be more available for more people more of the time. Now, as a result, you'll of course stay compliant with the vendor. You'll know what you have, how it's used, and you know that it's not misused. Now, I'm not going to go too technical into this presentation, but just to understand what goes where, you basically put a component called an OpenLM broker on the license server. So you might have many license servers. Each license server might have many vendors on it. Just put one broker there, and it transmits information to the OpenLM server. Now, we can also connect directly, so it's an optional component. And if you want added functionalities, you can also install the agent on the workstations. That's also optional. Now, the OpenLM server is where you get the interface, the database, and everything. So let's go there. Let me show you a live interface of OpenLM, and I'll show you the different reports that we can get. So OpenLM tells you the full story of your licensing system. What's going on right now, if anybody needs a license, how well you're utilizing them. So statistical information will give you that insight. And we can also offer utilization statistics to help you understand how many licenses you need exactly. So you got 200 engineers and only 50 licenses. Is that enough? Do you need less? Maybe you can cut a few licenses. Maybe you can do it with 20. Well, then let's take a look. First of all, we see different types of license managers. Here I have ArcGIS, ANSYS, Autodesk. Now, I see that currently they're like 100% used. It's almost 11 here. Everybody's working, everybody's on it. So if I click here on the quantity, I'll be able to see which features we're talking about. So network, viewer, editor. Scrolling to the right, I see the amount of licenses for each and how many are currently used. So clicking on that will show us who's using right now. So I know Ben is using and Rachel, I know they're using this feature. They're part of the UK group. They're using this workstation. They started at this time. They're using for this amount of time, and something that I'll show you later on is also the idle time. Not only will you be able to see that they got a license, you'll be able to also see if they're actually using that license. Now, you can also, from this interface, you have a little bit of management options. You can start, stop, and reread a license manager, and also upload upload files to that. So you upload from remotely to the license server itself. You can click here and you just upload the license file. That means you don't have to, if you have a lot of licenses, you don't have to go to each one and put the license there and restart and just do it from here. It's all consolidated into one place. Now you can also have a feature view, as you see here, where, well, we see 100% used for a few key features right here. But besides seeing what's going on right now with the system, how well the features, the applications are actually being used licensing-wise, well, we also want to know statistical information. So I'm going to jump over to another interface here. And first of all, I'll just show you all the many different types of license managers that we support. You have RLM, LSDyno, FlexLM, DSLS. You got 201 different license managers with many different technologies within them. But let's talk reports. When you have a floating license, it's not a one-to-one ratio. It's not, I got one license for one user, that's it. It's a no-brainer. But what about floating licenses where they're actually shared? 200 users can use 50 licenses and everything's going to be okay. Everybody's going to have a license. Well, how do you make sense of that? Basically, using usage reports. You can see here the maximum concurrent usage, how many users used it at the same time. So 15 licenses were pulled from the license pool that I have showing 70 licenses here. So right away we can see, well, at most I checked out maybe 15 licenses, 13, not a whole lot. I have 70 licenses, but I'm not really using them. So if I open up my license user report, sorry, if I open up my license user report and I see this case, well, right away I know I can cut a lot of licenses out and maybe reduce my spending. But let's say I open up the report and I see this case. Well, that's much better. We see we're close to the edge. We're not, well, we're peaking here and there, but it's a good situation, what we're seeing here. It's a really healthy license. And this way you can tell, and of course show management, that the licenses that you purchased and the amount of licenses are the correct amount. Now, we can also show this not as a graph, but also as a heat map, which is very easy to understand. Like you see that most of the usage is during working hours, like 7 until 4, and all the days within the working day. So Saturday, Sunday, mostly free. So right away we see it's a local license server. If it were global, we would expect to see mostly orange or red all the time. So here and there we get 70 out of 70 used, and well, no more licenses left in the pool. So if anybody tries to get a license, they get denied. We also track that. We can also track that denial. Now, basically we can see who got denied, how many denials, and so on. We can sort it by different measures, by hour of day, by users, by usage, whatever we choose. Now, we can also get just a full table. It just reports on all the denials that happened. It says who got denied, from which group, which workstation, the reason that they got denied. Now, this can help you understand if you need more licenses. If most of the time you're maxed out and you got a lot of denials, well, that's a problem. But OpenLM can also show true denials only. So You can either choose to show true denials or not. That means if someone tries to get a license but gets denied, and then it goes out automatically to another license server and does get the license. So the first denial is not actually something that you'd want to see. It just affects the statistics. As you can see, not aggregated, I get to like 50 denials, but aggregated weekly denials, I get like 25. Many denials there were just false denials. But okay, still we didn't see anything tangible about that regards the amount of licenses. Okay, we see this, we can estimate that we have the right amount, just about. But, well, how many do I need? Can I still cut licenses? Well, yeah. You have the utilization report, which allows you to know for exactly how many licenses you actually need. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this graph and understand what it shows us. Basically, it tells us the amount of time spent on each concurrent usage level. So how long did it spend on 70 licenses? Now, let's go here. How long out of this time span, how long was it on 70 licenses? Well, just right here, a little bit right here, maybe here a little bit. Well, in percentages, how much time was it? Well, 0.01% out of this entire time span. That means that we can set something called quality of service. Now, what's quality of service? If I set this to 95%, that means I'm okay with the fact that my end users will get the licenses, statistically speaking. They'll get the licenses that they need 95% of the times. 5% of the times, they'll probably get denied. But maybe I'm interested in 99%. So let's see, 99%, I need 59 licenses for this. Not the 70 licenses that I have, just 59 licenses. I can of course ignore weekends and consider only working hours because we saw it's a local license. And it gives us the result that we still have a reduction. Even with this very nice looking graph, this chart looks good, but we still can get a reduction of 10% in this case, 63 instead of 70. Now what we usually see, it can vary wildly. We can see some users that just have too many licenses. They have 100, but they use 20, or the other way around. But most cases, we see anywhere from 10 to 20% cost reduction only from this report, only from taking a look at specific features, expensive features, and cutting the expenses on them. So you don't really need all the licenses that you have. You might be able to cut them from the next payment. Now we can also take a look at it from the other way, from the other direction, and actually see what's not used. Like I got this feature, it was just never used. So I got 35 licenses, but just never used. I can drop those licenses next time. Maybe I buy a different package. Maybe I don't buy this feature anymore. Or maybe I see that all the licenses, all the features of a certain server have never been used. So that server never been used. Well, I can become that server. This is something that can be shown well also in the activity report, which shows you basically raw data on who used what for how long, and even how long they've been actually idling with the application. Now, all that results in, first of all, you knowing what is currently used. So if anyone calls you up, hey, I need a license, you know exactly who's using it, for how long they've been using it, and who you can try and call and say, hey, I need the license you've been using for too long. Now, OpenLM has many features and many options to automate your licensing system, like you can schedule different reports. That means that you don't have to go into the interface, just schedule it and get it to your email. You want a weekly report every Monday, you can do that. You can also set up different alerts that allows you to get notified. So for example, if a license server is down, someone is just using for too long, you get a notification, and he can also get a notification if a license is about to expire. Many different options to help you automate the licensing system and basically free you up for other tasks. And that's about it. That's my time. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Just go to the questions box of the GoToWebinar. Just go ahead. And that's it. A few words of extensions of OpenLM is there are many. I'm not going to go over them right now, but we have a solution for almost anything encountered in the engineering licensing field. So you can get in touch with us. Just go to our website, about us, contact us, and you can just call us up, get in touch with us by email or by chat, whatever you choose. Thank you.
Thank you, Sagi. We'll go over to the question part. Noah, do you want to take over?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Sagi, I see you already have a question. Can you please answer it?
No problem. One moment. So I have a question regarding the idle time collection. So the question is about if the idle time can be acted upon. So correct. Once we know that the user is idling for a long while, you can either just call him up and say, hey, you're not actually using the license. Please close the workstation, close the application. But the OpenLM system itself can also help you release that license automatically. So even if it's someone out of your time zone and is idling and you can't get in touch with them, it can suspend this application and release the license, or save and close the application, or run a script. We have many options for different applications to basically release the license for other people to use while the user is idling and doesn't need the application.
Thank you. There's another one. Can you please answer that one as well?
Yes, one moment. So it's regarding the alerts, going over the different alerts that we have. One major alert that we can take a look at is usage period. Now, this is a very powerful one because it notifies you, but you can also have it notify the end user automatically. Now, you can try and string some together using this and or functionality and say if a license server is down and not responding, then you can send an email, but you can also run a command. So you can try and start it up. If, for example, you got usage percentage, a feature is about to be maxed out, almost 100%, then you can send emails to whomever has, let's say, more than 10 hours of usage, because the license is about to be maxed out. You want to release those licenses, so you can do that either with the OpenLM agent, as I mentioned before, or just have them notified saying, hey, you've been using too long. Can you please try and release the license? It's about to be maxed out. And you can string together different alerts to get different criteria.
Thank you very much. Emma, I see you have one question. Would you like to answer?
Yes, absolutely. So I have a question from Marvin. Thank you very much for your question. And the question is, what is the company's innovation on plastic pollution? Well, to be honest, this is a very good question, and this is the first time I got this kind of question. And basically, the whole concept of Moldex3D is to reduce the pollution, to reduce the number of faulty items. So that's why before you even start thinking about your product and designing your product, you should consider whether it's going to be successfully manufactured in the injection molding machine. And that's where Moldex3D comes in. So I truly believe that our company and the product is the answer to the current plastic pollution. And to me, this is actually a very personal question, and I'm very sensitive about it. And if you ask my colleagues, you can be sure that I torture them all the time about not printing anything too many times, or not taking plastic bags from shops. So thank you for this question. I really enjoyed answering it.
Thank you very much. Emma, I see you have another question. Would you like to answer that as well?
Yes, this question is from John, and the question is, my part has metal insert. Can I consider it in Moldex3D simulation? Yes, that is correct. If you have different part inserts, whether they are just for cooling the part or they are for the assembly, you can simply set the settings. You import them into Moldex3D and you set the setting as this is a part insert, and then the software will treat this part as a part insert.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hen?
Yes, so thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope it's a start of a long-lasting collaboration between the two companies. It's a very innovative way for a software company to suggest licensing visibility solution, and we think Moldex is really doing something that is in favor of the users. As you can see, in some cases you can reduce the amount or adjust the amount of licenses you need to the best availability, and sometimes you need to increase the number of licenses to allow a better availability of the software. Thank you again, Emma, for joining us today. Our emails, if you have questions to Emma regarding the Moldex software and to me regarding the OpenLM licensing system, our emails are on the screen now. We welcome any question, any comment. And if you want to try OpenLM, it is a 30 days free trial license. We also assist with installation and configuration, and you will be able to see all your Moldex licenses within the OpenLM software. Thank you again, and hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.